Hi, my name's Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and filmmaker. Today I'm at the Teton County Library with the opening of the Teton Photography Club exhibit in the gallery here. And today we're going to have a bunch of people and hosts and a big event. I'm going to show you around the room, show you what the photographs are, and tell you a little bit about the Photography Club and introduce you to people. So I'm here at the Photography Club opening, the Teton Photography Club. I'll put a link to that, and very soon there'll be a bunch of people here talking about their photographs and the event. And it's pretty interesting. It's always fun to travel around and experience these sort of things. So if you wouldn't take a moment and hit subscribe on my channel and leave me a comment and let me know how I'm doing, take you on a little bit of a travel. So I'm just going to tour you through some of the photos here. Lauren Nelson, Idaho Road. And now I'm going to tour you through some of the photos. Lauren Nelson, Idaho Road.
Where's your stuff at?
Beth Holmes, Old Bear. Ben Nardi, Untitled Tree Reflection. Tim Labasi, Berry Creek Fire. Susan Papa, Wrangler Horses. Rachel Dunlop, Osprey. Lewis Brad, Drip Dry. Randy Isaacson, Reaching for the Grand Prism. Tim Labasi, Dinner Delivery. Anna Sullivan, Sunset Antler Motel. Christine Page, Winter Gray. And we'll come up over here. Candace Brad, Young Love. Gigi Halloran, Rainbow. All right, we'll cruise on over here. All right. Rachel Dunlop, Raven. Unmarked cowboy rider in front of the Tetons near, looks like Cascade Canyon. Kenny Jones, Mighty Bison. Christine Page, Canyonland Storm. And Huntina Tuthill, Curious. So we have Christine Page here with her photograph of Winter Gray. Hi, Christine.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good, good, good. So can you tell us about your photograph here?
Okay, this was taken over in Teton Valley on the quiet side of the Tetons on a cold winter day. And a friend in the photography club clued me into the location of this owl. I drove up. My friend was there, and I didn't see the owl until he pointed it out because I was looking in the trees. But the owl was in this barn and just hanging out, hunting from the barn, looking for mice, looking for voles. And it was a beautiful snowy day, and I just liked the grays on grays, the monotone nature of the photo.
Okay, so let me make an adjustment here. Okay, so can you tell me what type of camera you use? Are you, whatever you might use? Are you always doing wildlife? What kind of photography do you enjoy? I mean, this is a really beautiful photograph.
Well, thank you for that. It was a Canon 70D, so a crop sensor camera. It's a fairly old model, but it's what I have in my kit with a Tamron 150 to 600 on it, and needed every bit of that to get the owl, and then it's a cropped photo on top of that. But it did give me a fair amount of that lens, gave me a fair amount of clarity so that I could crop in. And I love wildlife most of all, a little bit of landscape, anything nature, anything outdoors, as well as a little bit of adventure photography and travel photography. And as much as I love wildlife, and wildlife is my reason for being, I'm very much an amateur wildlife photographer and working on it.
It doesn't look like very amateur to me. Now, I'm looking at the composition here. How come you didn't put the owl in the center?
A center might work for a really beautiful symmetry, just depending on the composition. But this particular photo begged a different kind of composition, and so given the horizontal nature of it, I wanted the owl over to the side, and I think that the fence patterns and complement the streaking on his breast, and I like the kind of traditional thirds sort of composition on this.
Nice. Now, I notice, I mean, it doesn't, I'm just being simplistic here, but it doesn't look like a phone photo because the background's real blurry. How do you achieve that?
So this was taken with a pretty tight aperture, using a wide open aperture so that you get a less depth of field, and so you can focus on your subject but blur out the background.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you very much, Christine, and congratulations on making it into the exhibition.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, we've got Randy Isaacson here with his photo, Reaching for the Grand Prism. Congratulations on making it into the show, Randy.
Thank you very much.
So we'll flip back and forth. So tell us about your photograph and what part you take in the Teton Photography Club.
Well, in the Teton Photography Club, I'm the director of the Peer Mentor Program, and I'd like to say that I've gotten a whole lot better because of the people that are in the Peer Mentor Program. I've taken pictures at Grand Prismatic, it seems like hundreds of them, but I found that many of them are just like everybody else's. So this one, taking it just so that you can see the blue at the edge there, makes it a little bit different. So in the last 3 years, working with the people in the Teton Photography Club and the peer mentors, I've learned to try to get pictures that are a little different from your standard, iconic, all the places kind of pictures, whether it's Oxbow or Schwabacher's Landing or Grand Prismatic. I think it's nice to try to find it from a little different angle.
Can you tell us, you mentioned the Peer Mentor Program. That sounds kind of interesting. What is that?
Peer mentor program I started about 3 years ago. I actually did some peer mentoring when I was a professor in the university, and I found that it was really good to learn from other people that were kind of just like you. And we started out with 6 people 3 years ago, and it gradually grew. And in fact, this year we've had to kind of divide it in half, and we've got a total of about 35, 40 people that are involved in it. All amateur photographers. Sometimes we'll have visits from professional photographers, but it's mostly amateur photographers that learn from one another because we're all a little different in terms of what we're good at.
Nice. And then, does it cost anything to be part of that? Is it an educational program? How's that all play out?
It's not really an educational program. The only thing that costs is making sure that you're a member of the Teton Photography Club, and that you've got, it's either the second Wednesday of the month or the fourth Wednesday of the month if you are willing to make a commitment to be there most of the time. What we try to do is not people just come for 1 or 2 shows, but rather that they've made the commitment that they get to know the people. We get, like this Saturday, we'll go out on a photo shoot together, and if you're willing to make that kind of a commitment and get involved in it, we'd be glad to have you.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Randy, and congratulations for being in the show.
Thank you very much. It was fun.
All right, we're here with Rachel Dunlop with her photo Osprey. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hey Aaron, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. Hey, could you tell us a little bit about your photo, please?
Sure. So this is a black and white, as you can see, of an osprey fishing. And this was taken here in Jackson Hole, in fact, at the Jackson Lake Dam this last spring, when I was waiting for something else to happen. So it's one of those photos that was serendipitous because I was sitting and waiting with a bunch of photographers for $3.99 to come out of the bushes. She'd been sort of disappeared into the willow flats, and we were all expecting her to keep coming towards the dam. So we were all sitting around waiting. And whilst we were waiting, these osprey were just fishing over the ponds. And so I had a 600mm lens on me, so I just looked up and shot it, and I got some really nice shots. And this is one of the examples of that.
Nice. So how did you get it so sharp? And I mean, far away, my bird photos always look like junk.
Well, I am a bit of a bird aficionado. Like, I do shoot birds a lot. So I've been honing my skills on shooting birds for a while. So yeah, practice. It's all it takes. It's just practice. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of settings would you say if somebody was just watching this, like, okay, how do I get your shot?
Yeah, well, you need a fast shutter speed because the bird is hovering. So this is probably at least 1 in 1,000. And you're going to need probably about an f7.1 so you can get most of the bird in focus. And then the ISO will just have to compensate for that. So this was on a pretty bright sunny day. As you can see from the background, it's pretty blurred, but there was bright sky. So it was probably ISO of maybe 600, 500, not very high.
Okay, and what kind of camera lens do you have to have for this?
Yeah, so I have a Canon 5D Mark III, which is a full frame camera, and then I stick on it a Tamron 150 to 600mm. And I've shot this probably at around 450, 500mm. Yeah, handheld actually. So you can shoot that lens handheld, but you want to have a high shutter speed to do that and get a sharp image.
Cool. Okay, and also I understand you're part of the Teton Photography Club. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do there?
Yeah, so I'm a member of the executive committee of the Teton Photography Club here in Jackson, and I do some of the social media and look after bits of the website. There's a whole bunch of us that do that. You are one of them, obviously. And I just try to look after the Facebook page as well. So a bit of the social media stuff is what I do.
Cool. Okay, well, congratulations on making it into the show. Thank you for sharing, Rachel.
Thanks, Aaron.
So we're here with Ben. We're here with Ben Nardi. His photo, Untitled Tree Reflection. How are you doing, Ben?
Good. How are you to say?
Good. Thanks. Hey, so can you tell us a little bit about your photo, where it was taken? Give us a lowdown on this thing.
Okay, well, this is String Lake Reflection, and this was taken about 2-3 years ago up on String Lake. I use a Nikon D750. I think I had probably my 50mm lens on. The light was just right. The colors, really a lot of contrasty colors, I thought, and it worked out really well being a vertical portrait style picture. Just typical String Lake, I guess, taken late September.
And then, so I'll just hold so I can go back and forth with some queued up questions. So tell us how'd you get into this, and a little bit about the Teton Photography Group, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, I've been involved with photography since probably 1969, 1970. In the late 70s, early 80s, I had a studio up in Havre, Montana, doing mainly portrait and wedding photography in a time, in an area where the economy was very depressed. So I got dropped out of it. About 2000, my son got into digital photography, and 2005 I bought my first digital camera, and it's been downhill from there. When I moved, I was living in Montana for 10 years. I moved back here in 2015 and got involved with the club about then, and really have enjoyed it. It's I like the aspect, as I said earlier, of working with others, the critiques, helping, constructive criticism, if that's not an oxymoron or what. But, excuse me. Anyways, I like that we can sit down and say, hey, I like this, I don't like that, here's how I would have done it, or have you tried it this way? And I think that helps people learn and expand. The peer mentor group has their monthly homework assignment, which pushes us to do things maybe that we're not comfortable with.
So has the club really made you a better photographer, you would say?
I would say a better digital photographer. With my roots being in film, making the switch to digital was quite, I don't want to say cumbersome, but it was a task. The learning curve was kind of steep.
Well, it's good to know, so you can get a lot out of this experience, and then you get the opportunity to show off your photographs for the rest of the people in town.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I said in the newspaper interview was that what I like about this particular exhibition is it gives a lot of people a chance for some exposure to get their work out there that, maybe they might not know. Give them a chance maybe to sell a photograph or two and expand, and push their limits to empower their abilities. And I think that's important.
Nice. Okay. Thank you very much, Ben, and congratulations for getting in the exhibition.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, we're here with Lauren Nelson, the past president of the Teton Photography Club. How you doing, Lauren?
I'm doing great, Aaron.
Good. So congratulations on getting one of your images in here. Would you mind telling us a little bit about it, please?
Yeah, this was from a trip last summer up to central Idaho, and we were driving around in some of the backcountry roads, and I came across this great road and a sign that pointed down to town. I couldn't pass that up, and it was perfect for a monochrome image.
And then, so how come you didn't put the road in the middle and kind of line things up?
I just have such a bad eye. I was looking for this coming out of the corner, and that was my primary composition, was shooting out of the corner, and then making the clouds really the central feature, using the road more like a leading line up to the clouds.
Okay. And then why'd you choose black and white? I mean, color always seems to be the thing. Isn't black and white a little passé?
Again, it was the detail of the way the sun was hitting the cloud up here, and the little rainstorm that was happening up here, that somehow it just made it look like monochrome would be a natural for that one.
Okay. And then, so you're the past president of the Teton Photography Club. Could you give us just a quick snapshot of where this thing came from and where do you think it's going?
Well, we started 6 years ago. A group of about a dozen photographers got together, decided that we would like to share images and talk about our love for photography. So we got together at the Art Association. We formalized a meeting plan over the next year, and since then we've had a public monthly meeting every month for the last 6 years.
Okay, thank you very much, Lauren, and congratulations on getting into this event.
Thank you, Aaron.
So we were here with David Navertil, the current president of the Teton Photography Club, at the gallery opening in the Teton County Library. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great tonight. How are you doing, Aaron?
Great, thanks. So can you tell us a little bit about this event?
Well, it's the second annual, and I think this year we had about 3 to 4 times as many entries as we had last year. So we have a lot of excellent photos, but I think it was really a trend up and to the right with a lot more people entering, a lot of just excellent photos.
Cool. So can you tell us a little bit about the Teton Photography Club and what your plans are as president for it?
Well, okay, since I've only been in the job, I guess, about 2 weeks, we're still maybe in the planning stages, but we want to continue the good work that Lauren and the other founders did, so we certainly don't want to let go of any of that. But I think the other thing is we're going to have an event on November 20th, another little, a very simple online contest So we're really looking for everybody to come out for that, and we're going to have some fun that night, I think. So a few surprises, maybe some awards, and maybe even some cocktails and pizza or something. So we really want to see everybody, as many members locally on November 20th.
And then also, could you just give us a little bit of overview of the Teton Photography Club? What's the objective and why it's around and what it does for people?
Well, I think the big thing is we want, it's a collaboration and social meeting of a lot of photographers in the area. Some people are obviously more advanced, but everybody's trying to work together to get better at photography and do a lot of sharing about good practices, even things like ethical shooting in the parks and that type of thing. So there's a lot of different programs. I mean, you probably interviewed Randy about the Peer Mentor program. But I think all in all, it's just a gathering of like-minded people. So.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, David, and look forward to the upcoming programs.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
So as you can see, the Teton Photography Club has a lot going on. This exhibition at the Teton County Library is really pretty impressive. Hope you've enjoyed the visit with some of the members and winners that got into this gallery. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and filmmaker. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And also, please support me on Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon. Thank you very much for watching.